Alhamdulillah wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam amma ba'd. Seeking the knowledge and learning about our religion is absolutely a necessity for us. It's a necessity to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a necessity for us to know and understand our religion in order to fear Him properly and do His commandments and stay away from those things which He has prohibited us from. And it is a sign that Allah wants good for us if He increases our Islamic knowledge. This is why it's imperative for you and I as Muslims to strive to attain that which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And some of the evidence for this is the Hadeeth of Muawiyah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من يرد الله به خيرا يفقهه في الدين وإنما أنا قاسم والله يعطي ولن تزال هذه الأمة قائمة على أمر الله لا يضرهم من خالفهم حتى يأتي أمر الله. In this hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that was collected in Muslim, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whenever Allah wants good for a person, He gives him understanding of the religion. And verily I am Qasim, and Allah He gives, He gives me, He provides for me. And this nation will not cease to be on the straight path. Qa'iman amrillah ala amrillah. To this nation will not cease to be on the straight path, following the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and no one will harm them who differs with them until the day of judgment. Imam Ibn Al-Qayyum said about this hadith, قال هذا يدل على أن من لم يفقه في دينه لم يرد به خيرا كما أن من أراد به خيرا فقه في الدين ومن فقه في دينه فقد أراد به خيرا إذا أريد بفقه العلم المستلزم للعمل وأما إن أريد به مجرد العلم فلا يدل على أن من فقه في الدين فقد أريد به خيرا فإن الفقه حينئذ يكون شرطا لإرادة الخير وعلى الأول يكون موجبا والله أعلم. Ibn Al-Qayyum said rahimahullah ta'ala about that hadith that we mentioned, that whenever Allah wants good for a person, He gives him understanding of the religion. Ibn Al-Qayyum said this is evidence that whoever Allah does not want good for does not receive understanding of the religion. And similar to the way that whenever Allah wants good for a person, He gives him understanding of his religion. And whoever gains fiqh in his religion or understanding in his religion, then it is wanted for him good. This is a sign that goodness is wanted for this individual. And if a person wants understanding of the religion, then this knowledge, if they want this fiqh, this understanding, it requires or it necessitates deeds, meaning acting upon that knowledge. As for wanting knowledge just for the sake of obtaining knowledge, then this is not evidence that this is understanding of the religion and wanting khair or good. For verily, understanding in this situation is a condition for wanting goodness. And in the first situation, it is an obligation, and Allah knows best. Imam An-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala said in Sharh Sahih Muslim, he said about that above hadith that whenever Allah wants good for a person, He gives him understanding of the religion. Imam al-Nawawi said, فيه فضيلة العلم والتفقه في الدين وحث عليه وسببه أنه قائد إلى تقوى الله تعالى. So Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala said in his explanation of Sharh as-Sahih Muslim, he said that in this hadith it illustrates for us the benefit or the benefits of obtaining knowledge, of having ilm, knowledge and understanding of the religion. And it encourages us, or it encourages a person to seek that knowledge, to gain this understanding and seek this knowledge. And the reason for that is because fearing Allah the Almighty, that knowledge is the main reason that a person obtains taqwa or fearfulness of Allah the Almighty. So the scholars of the past and the present illustrate for us that gaining knowledge of our religion is wajib, it's an obligation upon us all, as the Prophet ﷺ said, طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم, that seeking the knowledge is an obligation upon all Muslims. And the scholars also divide knowledge into two types, that there's fard al-ayn or fard al-kifaya. Fard al-ayn, this is knowledge that every Muslim must have. For example, knowledge of how to purify themselves and prepare themselves for prayer, how to pray, how to fast the holy month of Ramadan, how to pay zakat if you are one of the people who it is impingent or that must pay the zakat, and how to make hajj if one is able to do so and fulfill that obligation. They must know how to do it. They must know how to fulfill that obligation. So that is the wajib knowledge, that is fard al-ayn. This is knowledge that is an obligation upon every Muslim. And the other type of knowledge that the scholars classify for us, the other classification of knowledge is fard al-kifaya. Fard al-kifaya, this is knowledge that is an obligation of some of the Muslim ummah. So as long as we have some individuals who have this knowledge and are fulfilling and practicing that knowledge, then the sin is removed from the rest of the ummah. Meaning, for example, if you have a community and it comes to washing the body of a dead person, well, this is not knowledge that every single Muslim necessarily has to have this knowledge. But in every community you must have an individual who is able to do this and who is able to lead the Salat al-Janazah, the Janazah prayer. So that is knowledge which is fard al-kifaya, which is not an obligation upon all the Muslims. So this is an example of the illustrations, and there's many other examples, and we ask Allah the Almighty to accept our good and forgive our evil and bless us with knowledge of His religion. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.